So in today's video, I am going to be talking to you about how you can make $100,000 per year. So let's get down and let's really check out how this is even possible. So of course, first you could just easily go get a job that just pays you $100,000, but those are few and far in between and usually take a long time to be able to reach the point of making that much money. So how can we do this? Well, I'm going to really break down how you could. Okay, so the goal is to make $100,000 a year. That is probably everyone's goal in their life. And this is something that very few even achieve. So how can we get to this point? Well, first off, let's really break down what this means. Well, if we break it down per month, which is I always like to make everything into the smallest amount possible, what I like to really look at is, can we divide this by 12? And if we do, that means that per month we will need to make $8,333. Now that's starting to seem a little bit closer to what we really want to do, doesn't it? Well, how about this? If we were to divide the 100,000 by, let's say, 365 days. That now means that we would need to make, including over Christmas, over our birthdays, and everything like that, we would need to make $273.97 per day. Now that may not seem very attainable because obviously we don't work every day. So the math we really need to do is to say 100,000 and divide that by 52, and that equals $19.23 a month, or a week, and then divide that by 5. So if we were to have a job in 5 days a week, we would need to be making $384.61 per day. Now to me, I'm going to put that in red because that to me sounds like death. However, let's break these two numbers down. What does $384 mean if we were working an 8-hour job? That would mean that we would need to make $48 an hour and 7 cents. So if you were to get a job, you would need to make $48.07 an hour and hope that you get a job that doesn't send you home early and pays you vacation time, as well as allows you to go on vacations and maybe extend vacations a bit and still get paid, or even have sick time, things like that. You're really at that point basically relying on your job. Now, I'm not saying that's a negative. There's a lot of really good jobs out there. However, there's also a lot of really bad jobs. And of course, you always hear the person, whoever has a job, says, "I hate my job." Guess what? Most people do, and that's sad. However, if we look at 365 days, can we make $273.97 over that time? If we were dividing that number by 24, which is the hours in the day, that means that what you would need to do only, and this is going to really blow your mind, $11.41 an hour. If we could make money throughout the entire day, only being able to having to make $11.41 an hour. Does that now seem possible? And to some people who may be more creative, that doesn't seem like a lot of money. However, to others, that may mean that it's a lot of work, and it is. It's not easy. So what I'm getting to right now is, how can you make $11 an hour, 24/7, 365 days a year? Now that is literally less than minimum wage in Canada. However, we obviously cannot work that much in a day. We would die. We would no longer be around. So how can we do this? One way is, of course, investments. If you have money sitting on the side, you can get dividends And that's essentially money when you're not working, but you generally need to have a lot of money invested to be able to make $8,000 or $8,333 a month. That is a ridiculous amount of money to be able to invest to make that in dividends. However, we can get close depending on how much money you have. If you only have $10,000 sitting on the side, you can invest it in something that pays you 5%. And at the end of the day, what you would be getting is around $500 a year. Divide that by the amount of days, you're now at $1.50 a day, which you're now getting closer and closer to that point. And this is why the whole video is going to be about having multiple streams of income. In case one does disappear, you're still going to be fine. But what are some ways that we can make $11 while we sleep? Well, one way is YouTube. That's an obvious. It's not necessarily the easiest thing to break into, and I'll give you an example. There's over 100 million YouTube channels out there, and there's only 2 million that are currently monetized, and there's only around 380,000 of them according to a recent article that I read that says out of those 2 million channels, there's only 380,000 that make a full-time income. However, you could start a YouTube channel and build it over time. It's taken me 10 years, and I've gotten 4 YouTube channels that are monetized, so it's possible. It just takes a long time. What about maybe, for example, creating an ebook, starting a YouTube channel and an Instagram page, promoting that ebook, so that now people are watching your videos 24/7 on Instagram and 24/7 on YouTube. And sure, you may be making eventually some money on YouTube, but you're promoting your books that you've wrote. And now, let's say you sell the books, for example, like the price I sell my books at, which is $40. If you can have that goal of trying to sell one book an hour, if you have a 1% click-through rate and another 50% or 10% purchase rate after that, you really only need to have around 10,000 views a day. Now, of course, not everyone's ability is going to be able to sell all of those books, and of course everyone's numbers end up being different. But now you can have your Instagram page, you can have your monetized YouTube channel, eventually, it takes time, and then your ebook, and now you're having 2 lines of income plus your investments, and you can keep on building from there. But if you can really break it down and say, can I somehow make $11 an hour 24/7? Now, can I do that and maybe do, let's say, 12 hours of work and make $22 an hour at that work? So for example, if you were a video game trainer, which there's nobody up here in Canada doing that right now, but there are people in the States doing that, and they're teaching people how to play video games. For example, how I teach basketball players how to play basketball for $50 an hour. They're charging the same amount of money going to people's houses and teaching their kids video games. That's just an idea. But now, if you've got your YouTube channel, your ebooks, your investments, and now you're doing, let's say, 3 or 4 clients a day, teaching them for an hour, that's now an extra $150 to $200 a day. You're automatically now getting 2/3 of the way there to make that $100,000 a year. And then you can start building your lines of income throughout. So these are the creative ways on how you can make $100,000 a year, broken down to hours. It doesn't seem all that daunting when you start breaking it down to hours. It seems daunting if you're looking at a job, because now a job's only going to give you a raise, if you're lucky, of maybe 3 to 8% a year, generally around 2% really. And if you're working at a minimum wage job, you may not even get a raise every year. And when you start looking at that, it seems daunting. However, if you can figure out different lines of income to come in, and you can equal that out to be about $270 a day, now it's starting to look very easy. Because if you can get $100 here and $50 here and $20 here and $150 here, you're automatically really close to that $100,000 a year. I hope that this video has helped you and given you some hope. If it has, hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys again next time.